I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening and welcome to Government Planned Anarchy. We're in the middle of it right now. America's Third Party is here for you. We're here to give you any chance you can to figure this out for yourself and give you at least a toolkit to understand what's happening and help you with your fear. I'm David Sponheim and today is Freedom Friday. The very reason we gather here is to deal with this nightmare. We've seen this coming for years. I started this 12 years ago and I saw it all in the making. When I first started, I knew inherently that we needed a third party to unite. And I didn't really know what we would be uniting about because the left was so far from the right. And then I saw the left become more polarized and pushing for more communistic activities, becoming overly apologetic for being people who are white become overly apologetic in the Democratic Party when they don't need to be. And I saw how the right became polarized with all this bigotry and racism. So I took the middle. And then in 2008, I was a very hopeful person. And I'm still very hopeful about the country, assuming we move in the right direction toward a third party. I'm not so hopeful if we don't. So being I have been doing this for 12 years, I have a sense that we have to unite on one or two or three principles. And I found 4 right here. These alone we can unite on. So we can actually all come together because our First Amendment is definitely under attack by the Democrats. They want to create hate speech laws. Where does that end? It's okay to call people an R word, a racist word, but you can't call people another name? I mean, that's ridiculous. The word racism itself is a hateful statement, but it should be protected under free speech. All right. We've got Soul Child back in the room. Okay, good to know. Thank you. You're back. Bear in mind, Soul Child, you did have a few robots, chatbots, duplicate your account. So there were a few alternative Soul Childs out there. They've already duplicated your account. So they use your name and your whole routine to come in the chat room. Weird. We saw an old person getting doused with paint by rioters. Yeah. They assaulted an elderly lady. Let's go to that right now. Antifa groups in Portland, Oregon. She's merely defending the police station. They walk up to this elderly lady and just start harassing her or something fierce. Watch this. All right, so the mantra, put your mask on, is being repeated by these overly phobic people who have taken the democratic mindset of the Antifocrats, who care more about protecting themselves by putting a mask on, which doesn't even prevent viruses from flying through your mouth. Ironically, they're telling people to impose this mask law, which you can't do. Technically, that woman could have respiratory distress if she puts a mask on. All these attempts to violate our freedoms to not wear a mask, which is guaranteed under our Fourth Amendment and our First Amendment. First Amendment is expression. You have the right to express yourself. How can you express yourself when you don't have a mouth? It's like you have the right to express yourself, but you have to wear duct tape over your mouth. I mean, come on. Grow up, you Democrats. It's not moutistic. It's actually euphemistic for torturing an old woman. I bet you are. We're going to have to remove you from the show because you don't really understand here. Yeah. Okay, we've got a big concern right now that the country is slipping into this kind of a, government planned anarchy. I mean, that says it all, right? Meanwhile, there's word on the ground that there was a drone at that location flying over the area that blew up in Beirut. A drone. There were people that saw a drone flying over that area, so it's very, very possible this was a drone attack. Yeah. Well, she was powdered with something, and it was just a disaster. Hi there. Welcome. We know that this violence against individuals is going on by the Antifocrats. What's seriously messed up is the Democrats are giving them cover, and we found out that the Democrats are getting money through Black Lives Matter from the Muslim Brotherhood. That's a serious thing. I mean, they're using conduits of money from Dubai to finance Joe Biden's race. And we all know Joe Biden has some cognitive issues that he can't deal with. Come on, man. What are you, a junkie? I mean, this guy is off his rocker, literally. I mean, he's attacking a person who merely said, an African-American said, Mr. Biden, I understand you don't want to take a cognitive exam. Come on, man. What are you, a junkie? And then he starts accusing him of being a coke addict. That's not the response you're supposed to have. You got 2 videos to take a look at a missile? Okay, good. Bengalitis has some very up-close personal shots here. We're going to take a look at the Beirut explosion that happened 2 days ago. Breathtaking, case closed. Infrared video reveals details of Israeli nuclear attack. Wow. Okay, let's take a look. Thanks, Bengalitis. There it is. Missile attack. You saw it. That's it. Case closed. Missile attack. Let's let's repeat that for you. Okay, you see you see it coming from the sky, right? There it is. Boom. Let's take it in slow speed, really slow speed. Here we go. Right there. See it? That looked like a Tomahawk missile. Or actually not, no, a Tomahawk missile is more oblong. The cone is more truncated, more oblong. Ah, rock stole the eye, looks for Lee. Oh, really? Okay, Lee Majors. So there's proof of fakery? Proof or fakery is on 153, really? So do you think that was pasted in? Do you think that's a Photoshop of what appears to be a missile? Let's take the original photographs and do those with a histogram. Okay, welcome everybody. U.S. government contractor embedded software in apps to track phones. Really? We've only been hearing about that since the Vault 7 release and Guccifer 2.0. I mean, oh, okay. Gee, they already told us this, 8 years ago? Thanks, Wall Street Journal. U.S. government contractor has embedded software in apps to track phones. Oh, wow, okay. Well, of course, they want to do COVID tracing. The Democrats want to trace your ass. Wherever your ass goes, they want to know. I wouldn't doubt the Democrats want to, put butt plugs in everyone to monitor our flatulence. What if we got taxed for our flatulence and we had to walk around with a butt plug and an air mask? Would you feel a little bit unfree at that point? What's it going to take for you to feel unfree? Wearing a mask, well, you'll put up with it for a while, even though the Democrats, all they care about is, oh, it's getting worse. Well, show it to us. Prove it. Well, we don't really have the data. Yeah. You ask a Democrat for data to prove what they're saying, and they'll like change the subject. Oh, you're just one of those conspiracy theorists. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're asking for real data. No, I'm not. I'm not giving anybody crazy ideas, but a butt plug and a meter on it, I think that would be the next big thing in the Democratic Party. Let's just call them what they are, Antifa-crats, okay? A small U.S. company with ties to the U.S. defense and intelligence communities has embedded its software in numerous mobile apps, allowing to track the movements of hundreds of millions of mobile phones worldwide. Okay. Anomaly 6 LLC, a Virginia-based company founded by two U.S. military veterans with a background in intelligence, said in a marketing material it is able to draw locations data from more than 500 mobile applications. In part through its own software development kit that's embedded directly in some of the apps. Well, thanks for sharing, and thanks for telling us you're going to monitor our private movements. Without disclosure, we might as well just go ahead and have that company dissolved. If we didn't see official disclosure in the fine print on our phones that they're going to be doing that, that company will be shut down. We'll also be doing a monopoly bust of a couple major corporations in America under my plan. Yeah, we're going to take down at least two major corporations that have become too big for their britches and now exercising censorship on people like Donald Trump Jr. People like Donald Trump himself. I'm a person who believes that Donald Trump should now be allowed to speak his mind continuously. At one point, I thought it was very inappropriate for him to be tweeting. Then I realized the only way Donald communicates is through tweets. He doesn't talk like normal people. Normally he says, I took the greatest economy in the world and shut it down. They told me to shut it down. When he really wanted to say, he's been controlled by the New World Order from the beginning, and he's been taking Russian oligarch money, and he should write that down. He should use your words, Donald, use your words. In order to really give him his freedom, he needs to tweet. Someday I think Donald Trump might actually tweet the truth. Ooh, that could go viral. Tweet the truth. What a concept. Venezuela forces people caught without coronavirus masks to do hard labor. Seriously. There's no proof masks prevent the disease from spreading because the disease isn't moving through the air. Duh. Experts like Dolores J. Cahill, top PhD microbiologist professor in Ireland, said that masks won't help and COVID spacing won't help. We need to wash our hands. That's the big thing. Most of you people are grabbing things and then picking your nose. I know. I've been watching with closed circuit TV. Martha, I saw you picking your nose yesterday outside of that bathroom. DC Drano. So Mr. Trump has implied that Big Pharma doesn't like him. You know, if Donald Trump didn't fire the director of the FDA, you know he has no power. He could have easily fired the director of the FDA when that person decided a key drug that helps people is now outlawed. After helping people for 60 years on multiple levels, it's now outlawed. Why? Because somebody decided to take something like it in the form of aquarium cleaner. I mean, we lose a great life-saving drug because of that. I would have fired the director of the FDA. Would have taken me all of 3 minutes. Hello, I'd like to fire the director of the FDA. Oh, I'm not allowed to do that in order to get my Russian oligarch money and the interest on my personal loan and my sex tape. Okay, I won't do that then. What would you like me to do? Yeah. Donald Trump talks to these people without holding his phone away from his ear, so he could get radiation from the phone being near his ear. COVID is making your state dry? How's that? No, there won't be any scratch and sniff coloring books. They found out that the word coloring is inappropriate. It's considered racially typing people when you say coloring book. It'll be non-ethnic book for writing in. Donald has a lot of bad stories about him, and I'm sure keeps him percolating. No, you can't get mods. No. I don't know if 5G dries things up, but it definitely is a potential directed energy weapon, much like the ones used in California to torch the entire state. Well, if you're one of those people that thinks that fires happen and wind blows and it takes down houses at 3,000 degrees, then you're a mindless idiot. We have seen in California 300 fires started in a 24-hour period, and not one person was arrested for arson? I mean, come on. You people couldn't be that naive, right? They literally torched half of California, or at least the properties that were around the gas deposits that PG&E wants to tap into. Oh, yeah. They didn't want people living around gas deposits that they could mine. I mean, hello? I mean, think about it. Thank you, Misanthropy, for finding that map of the gas deposits that PG&E has. Very, very relevant here. Yeah. So Venezuela is forcing its people. Watch the video. This is crazy. Me, I don't walk around saying, "You're not wearing a mask." I just breathe through my mask and go, "I'm barely getting an oxygen." And it's great. I really enjoy it. I'm kidding, of course, but whatever. Waiting for Venezuela queuing up.
Bueno, en la Troncal 5 hoy se empezó a implementar una medida para las personas.
Look at, they have her wear a piece of paper saying she didn't wear a mask.
Que no usen el tapaboca. En este caso, estas tres personas fueron
Look at this Nazi socialist state.
aprendidos por la.
That's true. 1973, the area cleared by the California directed energy weapons strike against innocent people, never investigated by the government, is going to be used for a hyperloop. You're right, along with gas deposits up the yin yang. They want to get the gas out of the ground first, though. We don't want to have the hyperloop put in there when the massive bowel blast occurs. Can you imagine all that methane under the ground? And the hyperloop is going in. Hey, bring the welding torch over here, guys. We got a little well next to the hyperloop. Boom! The entire state of California would blast completely apart, and then you'd see a massive earthquake, and Andreas would just split, and then you'd see the parting of the ocean, and all the water would flow right into Nevada and Arizona, and you'd have waterfront property out there in Baker. Well, the fact is, Venezuelans have been suffering terribly. They can barely eat.
Llamarlo de esta forma, sorprendidas. En el casco central de San Josecito, sin su tapabocas.
Now, you know to speak Spanish, but I cannot tell you if they don't wear the mask, they don't get to live a normal life.
Y pues la policía municipal, los organismos de seguridad, desde este momento, toda persona que agarren sin tapabocas van a ser puestas a orden de el trabajo comunitario.
I don't want to watch a bunch of socialist Nazis. No way. Thank you, though. Good to know that they're doing that to their people. What a bunch of pigs. No buffet for you. Think of all the people that have lost their money and their entire livelihood. Somebody said that he knows a buffet in Texas. It's open every day and nobody goes in there. Their food is sitting there waiting for people to eat. You know, I think they're going to find there's a brand new buffet coming. I know this is kind of weird, but it'll be coming, arriving shortly. Yeah, it'll be the freezer buffet, where you walk up to a freezer and hit a button, and it'll take a frozen item and put it, because food has a short shelf life, right? These are all frozen food items. It goes into a conveyor belt, and then it arrives in a microwave, and you look at it, you hit the button, and it microwaves your entire buffet. Completely germ-free, but also without any vitamins, too. You have a buffet restaurant in Dallas, same car in the parking lot every day. Probably the owner is still in business. You know, I would just go in there to, eat. I'd be the only person eating there. Seriously. I'm thinking of becoming the last buffet man on earth. I know. We all miss buffets, Russian hackers, too. Your casino's giving you 1 to 3 months before all this be... Wow. We have casinos open right now, inviting people in again. We're in stage 3, or phase 3 in this area. We're probably going to have our schools half filled with kids and half kids at home. That's what Sarah's preparing for. Breaking news, Biden is losing brain cells in record numbers, doesn't know what day it is. Trump's campaign seeks assurance basement. Biden will debate in person. Oh, yeah. I would think that Biden would be willing to debate through a teleprompter. So all he has to do is read the teleprompter. That's how debates are handled anyway right now. Well, I care about what's going on right now. And I'm motivated to talk based on that, not whether I'm successful or not. Forbidden error. Forbidden error. Tiny URL. Let's take a look. I'm just here for the intrinsic value of being here. Sarah and I have been learning to be more appreciative of everything around us, to combat the fear. We found out one of the ways to deal with the fear that you may have of impending doom is to appreciate the now, the moment. Site still cannot be reached for some reason. Sorry. I'll copy your tiny URL and get it later. It's probably a VPN issue. Oh no, here comes her. Here comes the alarm. Sarah sets an alarm on her phone and then she hooks it up to the wall jack. No, I'm not going to give you mods. Well, there is the COVID plume coming from the toilet bowl. So when you walk into a bathroom, if you have even the slightest smell, get the hell out of there. Yeah. Wait till it clears out. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to go into a bathroom when it smells. That could be COVID plume. The dreaded COVID plume. And I asked Sarah, have they installed vacuums in all the bathrooms? Because you'll need a vacuum suction device in every bathroom. So they haven't done that either. They aren't even going to vacuum the toilet bowl. When you walk in a bathroom, you should hear that calm sucking air. You hear that sucking sound? That's your COVID plume being sucked out of your toilet. Now see here. Ross Perot knew it very well. Those are your tax dollars being taken out of your pocket. Casino bathroom after the buffet always had some fat. Really? There you go. Okay, let's try to avoid smells too. Let's just avoid everything, including, leaving our home. Pretty soon we'll all be hiding in our house, wondering if it's okay to go outside. KFC gets deep fried after posting Black Power chicken drumstick to commemorate Trinidad's Emancipation Day. Yeah, that's a little too much on the Black Power side. It sounds almost like they're joking about it. Yeah, the Black Power ultimate drumstick. They were grilled by angry social media users after fast food chain marked a holiday celebrating the end of slavery with a BLM-inspired chicken ad. Wow, all these people who appeared like they're BLM supporters, don't they realize they're starting to sound like a caricature of themselves? It's almost like, meow. Okay, thank you. It's almost like our whole world has become a cartoon, And you're the cartoon. We have a woman who's decided to give us her testimony. She's got some expert opinion here on the jobs report. We've been waiting for experts in the subject, and she seems to know more than most because she's tuned in. I think she's been maybe listening to her cell phone a little too close to her head, because what you're about to see may shock you.
About this jobs report. A lot of people are, of course, celebrating over it and touting about how great it is. But of course, there's the other angle of this participation rate. Explain that to us and why we need to look at that.
Absolutely. Well, we're in a very good position to talk about what's going on in the job market. We work with a lot of Fortune 1000 organizations, and we get a good pulse on what's ramping and areas of growth. We also work with quite a few staffing firms, and they're kind of the first ones to experience that growth. We're seeing tremendous growth here at DigiMe through professional types of roles, manufacturing type of roles, and
You're seeing growth?
I think even when you look at GDP, if you take and extrapolate the numbers, actually sales has increased here in the U.S. and it's consistent with the areas of growth we're seeing in professional services and other areas where employers are actually competing, as you mentioned in the lead-in. They're competing very heavily for the types of talent that they need to be able to reach.
The report, Lindsay, a lot of people are talking about how it's not just one particular sector. It's all the sectors, whether it's housing, it's property, It's services, it's truck.
Okay, so I'm not going to... This woman obviously is suffering from a serious thyroid problem. I don't know. Maybe she's never been diagnosed. But I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you for sure. But this is indicative of what is called hyperthyroidism or Graves' disease. And I think you have to put this in perspective. Yeah, I don't want to make fun of her, but to think that the jobs reports are looking good right now, I don't know. Thank you for that special economic advice from a woman who looks like she's shell-shocked. Beirut explosion, the truth will only get harder to find in our time. Wow. Okay, you got alternate views on the Beirut explosion. Let's see the truth right now. We're waiting for the truth. I think we're having a connecting issue. Oh, yeah, see? Yeah. Okay, we're connecting. We're not connecting. Henry Kissinger, when does this adrenochrome-loving person die? I don't know. Ours is not to reason why, ours is but to do or die. Ever heard that expression? Yeah. Whatever happens to him is karmic in nature. You can't always get what you want in life at Alice's restaurant. So we should talk a little bit about 5G radiation, don't you think? We should do that right now. Okay, time's up. Did you enjoy talking about 5G radiation? That video is not fake. No. We don't do Larry Sinclair every night. We're cutting back. It's part of the Larry Sinclair Anonymous group, the LSA. We're helping people with their Larry Sinclair addiction. You're one of them. Okay, before and after pictures of Beirut. Wow, this is a somber moment. U.S. jobs report. I think I put that in the lineup. I'll put it in there anyway. It's interesting to listen to her speak. We're good with that. Second stimulus check passage delayed again by $600 unemployment extension clash. Some people want to give people $600 a day. Some people want to give people $600 a month. Somewhere in between, the Democrats, Republicans cannot find a happy medium. Jerry Falwell Jr. will take a leave of absence from Liberty University. And who cares? Russia, China, and Iran seeking to influence U.S. elections, top intelligence official says. You think? Duh. Trump's order on WeChat and TikTok are uncertain. His orders. That may be the point. Why is Trump trying to push TikTok and WeChat out of the Chinese market and force Donald? Why is Donald forcing Bill Gates to buy it? Because Bill Gates is literally giving Donald loans. That's how Donald paid his past 2 months in interest. Bill Gates was talking with his hands about how he wants to force vaccinate the whole country. And you just have to do that and everything. And you want 30 billion? I'll give you 5. So Donald apparently is getting some money from Bill Gates through TikTok. That's what we're looking at, a kickback here. The guy's trying to profit in any way he can from the White House. It's so sick. Lebanon President, Beirut explosion either due to negligence or missile bomb. Well, unless that was Photoshopped, what we saw earlier, I'm going to go with the possibility that that was in fact a missile. Yes. California sorts through coronavirus data as glitch stymies policy decisions. Glitch? Yeah, the whole COVID testing thing is a glitch. You finally got Charmin back on track. You've been dealing with rough sandpaper like toilet paper. Oh, poor guy. Feel good feelings. You need that perfect feel, that soft tissue. Karen Bass is facing searing scrutiny as she emerges as potential Biden VP pick. You know, Biden was supposed to pick his VP 4 days ago, but I have a feeling he can't remember his own name. Well, come on, man. You're just goading me. What are you, a junkie? No, he's just an African American looking for a question answered. Why won't you take a cognitive test to determine if you're cognitive or not? I'm Mr. Cognitive. Dr. Anthony Fauci, speaking of people who are completely lost, he says the chance of coronavirus vaccine being highly effective is not great. Well, at least he's a little bit honest there. I mean, the fact is the coronavirus, COVID-19, is mutating. There are over 110 variants. And it will mutate in your body, too. It's an RNA mutation. There's no way they're ever going to create a vaccine for it. Not even an RNA vaccine or whatever the hell that means. And there's no herd immunity, so what you got to do is build up your individual immunity. And to do that, we have our guest, Sarah, to tell you about things that will help build up your immunity. And we are going to stop our recorded broadcast because I'm not allowed to talk about how to build up your individual immunity because YouTube said you're not allowed to give people tips on health or nutrition. So we're going to stop the show, and Sarah's going to take over and talk to you guys about how you guys can stay healthy. Okay? I'll be right back. Thank you very much, everyone. We're back. Thanks for the break. We just looked at Larry Sinclair, the man who claimed he had oral sex with Barack Obama in a limousine in 1999, and no one ever sued him from Obama's administration, not even Joe Biden. Yeah, so nobody really cares about Larry Sinclair except you guys in the show. He is now a legit politician, it's true. But he is getting currently attacked right now at Vaughn. I'm going to go off air and then go back on to kind of mix things up for everybody. The real Sunchild had a heat wave yesterday. Got another one today. Has been unbearable, really. Wow. Yeah. No one really is allowed in public areas. The real soul child is telling everyone that, you know, she's back. She just had an episode of depression, but she's back. Hormonal crisis, sorry. And we have a clip from Cobra Kai. Karen throws hot coffee at a man's face for not wearing a mask. Okay.
Phone all the time though, right? I'm in the middle of talking to her about something personal regarding. Oh, hi, bye.
You don't need to be wearing masks.
No, we don't.
How do I eat a burrito with my mask on?
Okay, let's cut to the chase. The friend he's sitting next to gets up, and then she splashes him.
I wasn't calling you. I was
Well, I
talking
know,
to
but I
me.
just keep that all to yourself, you know?
Well, no, not
I
necessarily
mean, I just
because
don't think it's like...
I
Well,
hear
what are
you.
helping anyone
It's
by
okay.
saying,
It's all right. I'm a business owner here for 30 years. I got it.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm on Sepulveda. We only referral, but the business is Orbit, and we work for companies and government. Yeah, but it's okay. We don't work for residents in the environment. It's all right.
What are you looking at me for? I didn't say shit to you. Get the fuck out
Oh
of
no!
my face.
Don't get hit. Oh gee! Hey, Matt! Oh shit! That was dumb. Hey, guys, stop!
Tough guy?
You don't. Hey.
Fuck off me!
Hey, stop!
Get her off me! Get your girl off me! Get her off me!
Wow. She slugged him back. Anyway, long story short, they waited for the police, and I'm sure they filed police reports, and it's going to be a civil penalty of some sort. She threw the coffee at him. The guy that she was with got hit, smacked in the face, and he had a bloody nose. Yeah. Very, very violent episode out in Sepulveda, California, or Sepulveda Boulevard in California. California. Yeah, it's too bad that Arnold wasn't there to protect them. But you know, Arnold would have taken the stand of the lady that they said that they have to wear masks. He's very insistent upon that when he works out at the Gold's Gym. Yeah. Yes, the scooter is smelly. Yeah, you have to wipe down the seat with the disinfectant. Yeah. You can't go up to the scooter and sit on the disinfectant. You have to wipe that off too. If you don't know anything about living in California, sorry. I'm working on the pronunciation. Yeah, you could pump it up. Well, I'm glad everybody's having a nice night tonight. It's special to be here with you tonight, Freedom Friday. We're all free to wear our masks anytime we want. Did you hear that Dr. Birx is recommending that we all wear masks inside our house to get more oxygen depletion, to cause more brain damage, so that we're more frightened? Yeah. Birx said, yeah, if you get anywhere near anyone at all, you should go back in your house and wear your mask forever. I don't know what a scooter is, man. A scooter is a thing you sit down on. Yes. They recharge. In fact, Trump Tartican has a whole fleet of scooters. He's recharging as we speak. He got into the scooter business. Do you wipe down your scooters when you rev up your... I mean, do you wipe them all down with antiseptic when you get them ready for the next guy? Hello. Aristocrix. How are you, Aristocrix? That wearing a mask indoors in my own home, I would be angry. You're telling me. But they're saying that kids are supposed to sit there in class for 7 hours a day. This is how out of it the Democrats are. Well, we'll just have to start up every class with everyone wearing masks. Not even recognizing that oxygen depletion will cause brain damage. 2% down from normal will cause brain damage. But of course they wouldn't realize that. Their brain is damaged from breathing nothing but carbon dioxide. See, the Democrats are getting more and more dumb. And I'd like to say the Trump tards are getting smarter, but that would be a stretch. The retardicans might actually step out of the hellhole they're in and realize what's best for the country. I like Ted Cruz. Not in a sexual way, of course, because he's not gay and I'm not gay. But the fact is, he's really right. We should not be spending money on a stimulus plan if we don't have it. Let's start the country up. What do you say? Let's get back to normal, everybody. Hey, I want to give everyone $500 a month per U.S. adult citizen. The Democrats don't even have a public option. Well, they do, but they stole my idea, $60 a month. The universal basic income plan I'm offering is not offered by Joe Biden. So another reason why you want to choose my name and write my name in with a magic marker on your ballot if there's a place. Make it indelible ink so they can't wash it off, okay? Yeah, if you have one of those really permanent markers, I'd appreciate that. Well, if you're not really tuned in on what we're doing here, we take in ads, information, advertisements, and we dole out information without advertisements. The door to reform U.S. education in the pandemic is closing. I would think now is the time to go for online learning all across the board. Georgia teachers are honking horns in protest of returning to school. People are so frightened by the Democrats. They've made everybody frightened. Almost like my cat. Meow. What am I going to do now? Oh, meow. She discovered her voice late in life. She's 17 years old, and about 10 years ago, she finally realized she had a voice. She was such a quiet kitty, we saved her from near-death experience. And she's still alive. It's just amazing. We keep going. So Insane Canadian has before and after Beirut pictures. Okay. Let's take a look. Before. Wow. Now this is exactly 3 years ago or 2 years ago, Netanyahu said that there was a weapons cache buried right here. And lo and behold, now the weapons cache is completely dust. Yeah, Netanyahu, we played him about 2 days ago. We played his video saying that he knew that there was something here. Wow. Before and after. Big hole. Wonder what was there. It looked like a conglomeration of some sort. Now it's just a hole. Well, that's interesting, you know. Maybe Israel did take out a weapons cache because just the day before they were attacking the border with Syria. So I have to assume that Israel might be involved. And if the video we played earlier of the attack from the sky, if it is true, says fake missile video only goes to harm the truth. Okay, so this has been painted in. Okay, I kind of thought it was. Yeah, it's too obvious. So what I played earlier in the show, we're going to have to look at now as after getting alternative views. We're going to have to look at this as a possible fake video. Let's take a look. Okay, apparently it's not playing. We'll have to play that later. But that'll be in our lineup tonight. We have to watch it later. I'm going to assume that missile was painted in. Do you think it was, Scissor Fight, painted in? It kind of looked like a painted picture of a missile being dropped in there. I didn't see it, but yeah, it's hard to believe. Thanks, Robin Lynn, for coming in and rebroadcasting us when you can. I appreciate it. Top Gun Part 2, 300 million. No, it's going to be okay. Great. Coming up, Top Gun, really? Part 2? Okay. This song is better than Lucy in the Sky, Benji. Are you sure it's not Lucy in the Sky by Captain? Oh, it's Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh, okay. Suspicious Minds. That's good. So you are sure that it was painted in. Okay, Scissor Fight is pretty expert at analysis of video, and I take his absolute opinion seriously about that. And I also believe that it's easy to put an overlay over something and make it look like a missile's attacking a couple days later. Yeah, it was clearly not evident in the original photographs, so we can't blame Israel for this. But they did talk about that area being a potential dangerous area where they're hiding right near the water there. They're hiding weapons cache and manufacturing weapons. Well, they aren't anymore, are they? Yeah, it's kind of over for Lebanon for a while. It's just madness. Bikers throng South Dakota town despite COVID threat. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been out about Sturgis and been hanging out. You don't just not do Sturgis because of COVID, okay? Thank you. Well, let's be clear. No, I will not leave anyone for you. Let's be clear. Michael and I are in a transgender relationship. Michael Obama. It was a terrible explosion, heuristic, Chris. Yeah. But it's nothing compared to the explosion in some of the toilet bowls in Sturgis after a big night of oyster eating contest. Coming to America Part 2, back to the cash cowing the theaters. Yeah. Theaters, you might as well forget about theaters. They're not going to make the comeback. We'll be wrapping that up. I think theaters would be nice homeless centers for people to sleep, don't you think? We could put bunk beds in every theater. I don't know. It just seems to me like theaters are not going to be COVID spaced properly. Now, Donald Trump said, I shut the greatest country's economy in the world down. They told me to shut it down. The greatest economy in the world. I told him, okay. Apparently, he shut down the greatest economy in the world, and there's going to be a hard time starting it back up. You see, that's not written in the manual. History didn't really teach us how to start an economy up from jack square zero, like Trump put us at. And ironically, Biden wanted us to be shut down as well, so that means Biden's a complete idiot. Am I right? Yeah, Dave, you're right. Thank you. So, there you have it. Well, when Black Lives Matter decided to represent black people, they didn't really consult the African American Black Caucus. I think that we should go back to the Black Caucus and have at least 1 month, every month, we should touch down on subjects that are really important to people who are dealing with minority areas that are struggling. Absolutely. I don't think we're doing enough in that area. Now, I think the remedial solution for a lot of this, the Black Lives Matter issue, really stems around brutality issues. I think we have the... just tell me when the shutdown's over, please. Thank you. I think we have the possibility of defunding the police. If there's no sensitivity training performed at any city level, I'll recommend the sensitivity training with the help of lots of experts giving ideas. We'll hash this out and come up with a good plan, maybe a 4-day course study for officers. And if they do that sensitivity training, they stay in the force. If not, it becomes a farce. And cities like Seattle and Minneapolis will be replaced with the National Guard. We'll bring them in. We need Sponheim sensitivity training. That's right, Sponheimativity training. So with Sponheimativity training, we will be ready to go. Raring to go. Okay, and this idea of defunding is mine. I came up with it 12 years ago, so wherever the Democrats got it, I assume it's me. Sensitivity training or defund. Yeehaw. Tell me when the shutdown's over, please. I would have stopped the shutdown 60, maybe 50 days ago. In fact, I never would have had a shutdown. It would have been phase 4. We would have gone from phase 5 to phase 4. Be careful. Watch yourself. Stay 6 feet away from people and wash your hands. I wouldn't have asked for people to wear masks. We went right to phase 1 and shut down. Shut it down. Shut her down. Yeah. Okay, so this is the plan, Stan. I believe this will work. We have enough backing to make this happen. Sensitivity training or defund, everybody. And that's my plan. Now, sensitivity training involves the shoot to maim added to the shoot to kill policy. Shoot to kill is when a person holds a gun at you or gets ready to, or has a gun in their hand and it could lift it. You blow their head off or put a bullet through their heart. That's shoot to kill. Shoot to maim is when they reach in their pocket. Sir, I said, keep your hands up. Sir, and then boom, bullet to the lower calf area, not to hit a femoral artery. Yeah, knock him down on the ground. Boom. Well, let's be clear. I'm not a politician. I'm an average person. I'm just not a social justice warrior. Michael and I have not met. No, of course I'm not a politician. Do I sound like a politician? Give me a break, man. I'm less of a politician than Donald Trump, who's been at this for 3.5 years, screwing you over financially. I look like Jim Carrey, really? You know, everyone says that, but I don't see the similarity. I really don't. I mean, Jim is a couple years younger than me, and he looks like he's lost. Lost and all alone. He must have paid his stylist to take that picture that was very bad of him down. Yeah. Here he is, the unadulterated Jim Carrey. This guy looks pretty depressed, man. When he doesn't have makeup on, he really looks depressed. Well, that's because life's pretty depressing, Dave. Jim, have you been taking your medication? Jim, are you on mood elevators for your manic depression? Are you a little bit twisted in the head, Jim? Jim, I'm talking to you. Yes, wake up. Wake up from that mindless state you're in. Earth to Jim. Same face? But you've got to admit, I am better looking, right? David, what year did you start running for president? I started running for president while I was trotting, actually. I didn't quite run, but I was trotting in 2005. I officially ran in 2008. And from then on, it's been a nonstop effort. Never ending. I've never been a politician, no. I'm just an average American with an extremely high IQ who can solve problems interactively and potentially can save America. And I felt that it was my obligation to throw my name in the hat. So here I was in 2008, after 54 days of constant broadcasting with all kinds of advertisements and press releases going out to every major network, every magazine, not one callback, not one email.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount, and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own.
Okay, so I started this out about 12 years ago here, and that was kind of an interesting experience because I didn't expect to do 550 hours of broadcasting without one single ad, review, press release getting noticed. I was quite shocked. That's when I realized that this effort was going to be very difficult and very daunting. So I came up with a really good plan. No, I'm actually less weight. I'm actually the same weight I am in that picture. Exactly the same weight. David, you have to clean up your yard. No, my yard looks good. I have a great yard. I have one of the nicest yards in the entire area. I have the nicest house in the entire area. I do. I work out all the time. We have a troll in the room, folks. Sorry to say. Yes, I'm aging very well. That was me 12 years ago. And as you can see, it's a pretty amazing transformation when you look at my effort has been undaunting. I haven't changed one bit. I even have the same shirt. I was thinking of going out and doing a show, doing the same exact shot. I was thinking of doing that. I can still do it, actually. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I would never sell my Honda on eBay because it is worth a fortune. It'll be worth over $1 million someday. a collector's item. But people without long-term vision don't see that. People who would realize that if they just drove a Eurovan up into my house and handed me the paperwork and had me sign over the ownership, I'll be glad to sign over my Honda Insight. But it would require the awareness that that will be a collector's item. Otherwise, forget it. We already have a Honda Insight. Sarah has one too. So people are willing to COVID space violate, and I don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn, and I don't care. People can COVID space violate, and I don't care. No, I can't bench 400 pounds. I can bench about 150 comfortably without pushing myself. When you get past a certain age, you don't want to bench press past 150. It's hard on your heart. It's not good to push your body that hard. I would urge Arnold to do the same. If anybody's distancing at all, it's standing in a bar belching on somebody. I mean, what the hell? I mean, they don't care. Do I care that they don't care? No. Should you care that they don't care? No. Is it your right to care that they don't care? No. Is it your right to violate their freedom of ability to put a mask or not put a mask on? To put a mask on or to not put a mask on, that is the question. Whether it is nobler to stand at a bar and belch COVID-19 in someone's face without a mask on, or whether it is nobler to deny a person's right to belch in one's face without a mask on. I don't think anybody cares about anything. I drove by Sturgis as close as I could get. Was like 17 miles away at my last trip last year, in which we literally pulled into a gas station, and it was busy last year. And people are, filling up gas, and some people have masks and bandanas, whatever. I heard some weird stuff, man. I mean, there are bikers that bring their women out there to, share sex partners. There's some wild stuff going on in Sturgis, yeah. We're talking women and men in their 50s. Yeah. There's swapping sex wives with their 50-year-old sex partners, yeah. I heard it right out. I walking through the door, and some guy was saying, yeah, my old lady did a porno with a couple other guys. Pissed me off, man. It's like, wow. Seriously. I listen. Yeah, they wear jackets saying property of so-and-so. There's a big turf war going on there. I wouldn't go to Sturgis if you paid me. I just don't believe I'm part of that group. But I respect their right to do whatever the hell they want to do. They are the modern day cowboys driving on the road, COVID space violating. I don't care. Use ChromaCam. What's ChromaCam? I've never even heard of it. There's ManyCam. I've never even heard of ChromaCam. No, I don't need to wait for me. I mean, I'm slipping into the next dimension. I really believe that our country is going to collapse completely under Biden or Trump. Until you save me and get me to the White House, we're in trouble. It's just that the New World Order wants to take us down, and they planned this whole thing all along. That's why Donald Trump is not investigating the Acme Brick Company, which put bricks in every city that had violence. That's called government planned anarchy, plain and simple. Who's got the idea to fix the country? It isn't Biden. My sensitivity training, or defund, has been around for 12 years. We want to give this everybody a chance to pull their ears. We want to give everybody a chance to learn how to be decent. We will be giving personality exams to people in the force. And if we find that you don't have a personality or one that conflicts with the use of fair play, we will give you an option of a desk job. Or you can be elevated to detective if you pass the intelligence exam. But that would involve an intelligence exam. We wouldn't normally give that to most of the people in police force because they have an IQ below 107 by law. But some people might slip through with a bad day on the test and maybe pull 130, and you might get a detective job. Drink blueberries before your IQ test. I highly recommend it. So what my police force in the future will have is less traffic cops riding our ass, going down the road, harassing us. More emergency road vehicles. The same cops, highway patrolmen, will still be on force, but they'll have a duty to do something more than just harass people, and it frankly endangers them to pull somebody over. It really isn't that safe for our, and that's untenable. We have state patrol officers like a revolving door in the state of Washington. If they don't meet their quota, they're out. And that's just wrong. That's got to stop too. So this whole package probably is about a 10-point plan, but ending police overtaking predatory behavior is part of making them nicer and friendlier. Putting more cops on the beat. Getting more cops to actually have an outpost in an area where they can hang out with people and serve coffee. I mean, hello, this is a no-brainer, okay? Making people more approachable who are in police. Now, if there is a problem with violence and you have a domestic violence, everyone will be trained to deal with that and the children at the same time. We won't need a CPS force to come in and go, we're here to take your kids away and you'll never see them again. And then give them to pedophiles. That won't happen in the future. We'll phase the CPS out and we'll open up more what are not foster care facilities, but rather actual orphanages, modern day orphanages. So, but that's a long-term strategy. That's a 4-year plan. CPS will still be on duty initially, but they won't be leveraged as much. We'll be slowly phasing out these operations because they're just not fixing the problem. Families are still not really ending their problem when a family member gets hauled off to a prison that makes money $150 a day off that prisoner. That's a revolving prison door too. We've got to stop that. The for-profit private prison system is going to have to be shrunk in size. We'll keep it there as an option, but it'll be shrunk to a point where it's trickling. Meanwhile, the prison system that we know today, which is releasing hardened criminals, capital criminals, rapists, will be shrunk. Just the capital criminals and rapists will stay there. Unlike now, we're releasing capital criminals and rapists that going and kill people, like which happened a couple days ago. When they get COVID released, that won't happen. We'll release low-level drug offenders first from our jails and our prisons. That's it. Slowly, in a staged, methodical manner. You're afraid of people on IRL? Well, why don't you just not do IRL if it's causing you stress? Like I told you, don't do anything that doesn't bring you joy. Follow that principle. And also follow the principle that it's the ABCs of Shameless. I just got it. Yeah. He said ABC, it's the ABC of life. Always be celebrating. Isn't that a great attitude? Always be celebrating. ABCs of life. Yeah, William H. Macy is perhaps the biggest star on that show. And Sarah and I got back into the show recently. It's funny, when I looked for his name, it didn't even pop up. It's funny. Anyway, he does a great job, and he describes how, he's always be celebrating, he said, the ABCs of life. And I like that. Always be celebrating. But that doesn't mean become a drunk and drink yourself under every day until your liver is shot and you're wondering, where's Fiona and who cares? And the problem is I'm not getting the respect I deserve. Nobody respects me. The father of my household, and nobody respects me. So he drinks all the time. I don't recommend doing that. No. But always be celebrating. I like that. And Sarah's really helping me understand how to allay any fear of the inevitable. Is to just try to live in the moment and appreciate what you have. Appreciate the people around you. He's a great actor. He deserves a couple of Emmys for that performance. He's awesome. So is everyone on that cast. Shameless is awesome. I told Sarah that watching Shameless is like stepping into the shoes of a person with manic depression or bipolar disorder without the downside of the lows, the big lows they go to. Hope it has a sound now. Really. I realize that Shameless is a remake from the British show, but I believe that the English version, or rather the American version, is far superior. Hello. I'm praying for Pope Francisco, and I hope he deals with his crisis he's having with his foot, his toe. Tell him I hope after stubbing his toe, he'll get better. Soak it in hot Epsom salt. And they're saying right now, how did he know about the Pope's toe? Just like Sanford and Son is better than Stepford and Wives. Steptoe and Son, yes. Well, yes, it could be a COVID toe, because there's talk of that. Yes, perhaps you should have one of the homeless people wash his feet for him. You love me too. What are you taking me to Senator Del Repubblica for? Oh, welcome. Hello, Senato della Repubblica. Well, the Italian people have a history of amazing politics, I must say. That's true. They're very expressive too, and I love the fact that many people in Italy are wondering, is this real? Is this COVID-19 thing fake? All around the world, people are saying, why are they faking this out? Because tell Pope Francisco that we're fighting the devil here. I would highly urge for him to make the right decision and stop in any activities in his church that involve Luciferianism, devil worship, adrenochrome taking, and sacrificial eating of children. Make that, put an emphasis on the not eating of the children. Thank you. The world needs people living in fear. That's always the goal, to scare the public. Well, that's not my big hope. I hope I calm people down by coming in the show, because you see how an even-tempered person I am, and how I use levity to kind of lighten the load. It's a skill. It's taken me years to develop. I am the one. Neo, you are the one. No, I'm not like the Depends underwear of presidential candidates. I'm not lightening your load. I look like Hermann Goering? Victory, really? Let's take a look. Doing a match, facial match for Hermann Goering. Let's take a look. We will find out, because I have some German heritage in me. I don't look a bit like that guy. No. His profile is nothing like mine. He had a big square jaw. He would look more like maybe my dad or something. I do not look like no. No. Similar nose, though, I will say that. Yeah, the nose is very similar. We might even be related. I'm not in any way sure how many people stayed in Germany when my family left in 1100 AD. I don't look like a used car salesman, Dr. Phil. No, hardly. And why are you talking about me? Why shouldn't this be about you and that outstanding debt you have with the gas company? Yeah, we've been tracking your record. He does, yeah. He better deal with it. David, Biden linked me this, and now I'm linking to you. Okay. Biden's linking to you. How nice. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, touching your wife the way he does is perfectly normal. But he touches other people's wives. Yeah, it's not really relevant that his wife says, sometimes Joe would brush my hair from my face. He made her, it's very handsy family. Oh, and then she said it made me feel strange and uncomfortable when they first began dating in a new memoir. Really? Okay, well, now Jill Biden is speaking up. We'll find out more. Thank you. His son, Hunter Biden, spent thousands smoking crack in a D.C. strip club. I understand he had strange things done with a dildo, too. I don't know what to say. I mean, Joe's not responsible for his son, Hunter. That's ridiculous. Don't malign him on that term. Just talk about his Alzheimer's, advancing, galloping dementia. That's much better. Focus on that, not this big problem with Hunter. That's ridiculous. Getting his son a job, making $50,000 a week, or was it a month, is a bit of a stretch, I will admit. The debt, you have debt? Really? It's false news. You don't have any debt with the gas company? I stand corrected, folks. He just had flatulence. He didn't have a problem with the gas company. Okay. I was just checking. It smells pretty bad where you are. Yeah. Trump is friend with Epstein. He is. Did you guys see the video of today? Earlier on, I played a video, Brighteon. It was pretty interesting. Donald Trump is a pedophile. That's what it says. Now, I'm not alleging he is. I doubt that, but it's very weird. He goes on to name about 6 or 7 young 13-year-old boys and girls that claim they settled out of court. And he says this is the real reason Trump won't release his taxes. Isn't that amazing? And this guy has some pretty interesting names. He names all the kids involved in alleged settlements that have been pushed out of court. Yeah, kind of like Michael Jackson. Except Michael Jackson faked his death so he wouldn't have to answer to anyone calling him a pedophile. Yeah, I don't know. It talks about a lot of these people. Kelly Fuhrer, 12 years old, $1 million settlement paid in 1989, allegations of forced intercourse, Trump Towers, New York. I mean, wow. Charles Bacon, 11 years old, 3 million allegations of oral and anal intercourse, 1994, Trump Towers, New York. I mean, this would normally be like blockbuster news if it was true. But we're not getting any effort by our government to look this stuff up. So all we have are these odd allegations online that we're getting from people. You can just dispense with it all as fake news if you want. I don't really care. Yeah. Rebecca Conway, 13 years old, intercourse and oral sex, Trump, Vineyard Estates, Charlottesville, Virginia, 2012, $5 million. How can you make this stuff up, though? I mean, so could somebody please look this up? I'm going to give you guys the link and find out. Yeah, this is what it is alleging America is the best. Trump allegations. I'll write in the note. And you can download it anywhere you want. I mean, look this stuff up. I can't. I don't have the time. And you don't either. You're too busy prepping for the future apocalypse. How can you possibly break away from that? I mean, just amazing video. Trump allegations. I disagree. I believe that Trump is a good public speaker. I find that very, very insulting. Trump is so well loved by his followers that if he shot someone or committed homicide, they would still vote for him. We don't answer questions like that here. Well, all I'm saying, if Trump has pics of himself with Epstein and his mama-san, I don't know what to say. All I can tell you is all these allegations about Donald Trump are just that, allegations. And all those allegations about Biden having an underground sub, which connects to Pedo Island, they did a search and they found out that Joe Biden does not own any property on Water Island, but 2 of his relatives do. You think Joe would be smart enough to put in their names? I think Joe Biden is slightly more intelligent than Donald Trump, slightly, but he's losing brain cells faster, so that kind of is an offset factor. I mean, not only was Joe Biden not at the top of his class, he was at the bottom of his class in law school. We've been knocked offline. Rebooting. Refresh, please. Mad Dog was dumped by his blow-up doll? Oh, that's so sad. Video is not working still. Try again. Refresh, please. Back? Okay. We got knocked off temporarily. So yeah, is this a big deal for people to understand? Sensitivity training or defund? Very simple. And with the 4-day training course, weeding the bad cops out of the mix, we'd also analyze their history. And if we find that some cops had 2 or 3 complaints about physical brutality, we would definitely look at them closer. We would. It's very likely that the police force is not going to immediately recover from its bad condition it's in. But with this big effort, we could always use that defunding. I guess it's a veiled threat. Cutting back New York would be terrible. They get $6.5 billion from the federal government every year for policing. New York is one of the ones that I want to work on. LAPD gets $1.7 billion a year for policing. So big cities like that will be hurt financially if they say they don't want to do it. If they don't want to do it, we'll watch them, monitor them, as the federal FBI offices will be working, just monitoring general brutality issues, keeping a log of anything that comes in the news, listening to police reports, this and that. We'll have a team of FBI agents analyzing the subject. And if they don't meet and comply with our efforts and they still do not want to go for the training session in order to get the money, then we would bring in the National Guard. I would have brought the National Guard into Minneapolis 2 months ago. I really would have. As soon as the riots started occurring, I would have brought the National Guard in. Trump hasn't done anything. Now it's lawless in Minneapolis. And pretty soon there's going to be a whole new thing, rape in Minneapolis. There's all kinds of weird people. I would not get out of your house if you were in Minneapolis at all. I'd have food shipped in on Amazon or something. Oh, really? Sex with your dog? I don't believe that. That's what I heard. LAPD gets $1.7 billion, yeah. Sarah will be on a little bit later. She was on earlier. We stopped the show for her because she doesn't want to, do anything specific, and I like her to just explore. And she's very open and capable of talking online. She does it all the time. And you guys get a chance to talk to somebody different than me. They are predicting 40 million evictions in the next month. Let's go, boys. And if we are looking at any effort by Pelosi to stop evictions, I haven't heard yet anything. I haven't heard anything about a moratorium on evictions, outlawing evictions altogether, rent control, nothing. Pelosi has a chance to do that, but she's getting too much money from the big, huge, property owners to do that. So the Democrats have been pretty much not working on that level. They're not really thinking on that level either. It's one of the reasons why Ted Cruz doesn't want to sign any package with him. He's very forthright about, and I feel the same way. If we can't get our country going right now, and this COVID fear among the Democrats is taking over our country for no reason, then we really have to not give money out until they understand what money means. Money means a stimulus to our economy. I wouldn't be offering $500 a month for everyone in America with the original universal basic income plan if money didn't matter. Money matters a big deal. Right now, the $1,200 twice will be nice if you get the second check. But that still won't really be enough for our economy to roll. We've got to give it stimulus money. And the best way is to give the American people money directly in their pocket every month. Now, we're already talking about, or they're talking about, going to a digital currency. Well, in a way, this keeps our existing cash economy and just adds to the mixed economy notion. I don't believe digital currency is safe. If Bill Gates can't handle his operating system, how in the hell is he going to handle cryptocurrency mining with tattoos and RFID chips in our body? I mean, come on. Come on, man. What are you, a junkie? I don't think we have the time to go to war with China right now. We're too busy worrying and cowering in fear. How many ounces are in a silver quarter? Hey, have you noticed silver is skyrocketing? Yeah, Sarah and I just noticed that. It's up to $28 an ounce. Spot rate, let me check. Now look at the trajectory of silver this past week. $28 is it's gone up to. It's just like up and away, my beautiful. It may drop again, but it's making a big, huge lift. There's Kitco's 24-hour spot rate. And it's up to $28 roughly per ounce. I don't track platinum. I think tin is 55 cents an ounce. Yeah, Sarah found me a silver quarter right here out of one of those machines. You know, if you go to one of those coin retrieval machines, I'm serious. Go, just when you walk by, grab the tray underneath and reach in there and see if you find any quarters. They're probably silver. Most people don't even care. Well, that just didn't make it through, so it just goes out. Yeah, they send quarters back there all the time. I don't do that. No, I don't. I'm not some, urchin looking for a quick quarter in a machine. But the quarters reject it if there's silver in it. Good night, Odin. Sleep well. Good night. Good night. So Nancy Pelosi's Goat Hill Pizza store that she bought is going to be talked about. There's concern that pizza still is pretty much a topic among the elites. We talked about, why they're so fixated on pizza. Yeah, anyway, we'll be playing that tonight. Have to move that forward. I'm playing catch up from a couple days ago. This is a story about Intel suffering a massive data breach earlier this year. And as of today, the first associated data has begun being released. And some users are reporting finding hard-coded backdoors in the Intel code. That's a strange story that came in. I just don't even follow it. I'm not a hacker, so why would I care? I have met a few weird people that worked at Cisco. They're not affiliated with Intel, but I've met people that are very spurious characters. Programmers, people that, you wouldn't trust for a second. It's like, are you really working for this company, or are you going to sell their industrial secrets? David, do you think you can withstand this like Donald has? Well, Elvis the Pebbles, I didn't cavort with... I did not cavort with Russian oligarchs. Trump did. I didn't have pictures sitting on a couch of two women urinating next to me. Trump did. I'll play that tonight, Night C73. Yeah, for sure. It's a great video you brought. The story about the possible pedophilia issue with Trump. We got a pedophilia issue with Trump and one with Biden. We don't know. They're just allegations. Let's take a look. This is Trump handling the press.
Maybe the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do.
Yeah, he's talking about selling our country to the New World Order. And you QAnoners are going, no, Trump is stopping the deep state. No, he's trying to actually surrender our nation to the New World Order. I don't think you know what's going on. You QAnoners are blind, man. You got your eyes open to the Pedogate story. I agree with you there. But you're bringing up issues like I do, Wayfair, and the Wayfair Gate story about how department stores selling big shelving for $17,000 that would normally sell for $500. Yeah. But you missed it on Donald Trump's Russian connections. You were so busy saying, oh, he would never lie to me. Huh? Yeah, I believe him. It's all a Russian hoax. It's all a Russian hoax. No, there's so much proof that Donald Trump was dining on the Russian money for over 10 years. You people must be completely out of it. Do some research. Elvis the Pelvis has been removed from the show. David, do you have a bomb shelter in another state? Well, let's just say I've got my eyes on a lot of states. I can't confirm or deny that. You considered running for president before then and decided against, way too much drama involved? I know. I grew up with drama. I was born in a kabuki nightmare. Yeah, it was kind of bizarre. You've been to 57 states? You and Obama, yeah. Well, I just don't think the Democrats have a clue because they're really moving too far to the left. They've embraced the transgenderism like it was their new mantra, when it's a deviant behavior. I don't mind not discriminating against transgenders, but we had it 8 years. We had Michelle Obama, our transgender first lady. I think that's enough penance for us to serve. Pushing the transgender agenda can be the Democratic thing. Taking on the jihadism and endorsing it like Biden did last week. Being a conduit for the Muslim Brotherhood as it flows money into the hands of Black Lives Matter, that's not good. That's a Class C felony by the Federal Election Commission. We just need to get Donald to apply a little pressure to the Democrats, and we could expose that. But ironically, Donald is working for the same people that are funding Joe Biden. So he doesn't want to expose the funding. Could be from Dubai, it could be from Lebanon, for all he cares. Donald has not exposed certain people either, like George Soros, who loaned him $160 million to build the Trump Towers. Or Bill Gates, who seems to be working a deal right now with TikTok and Donald. So if you're wondering if Bill Gates will be outed by Donald as to having an agenda of vaccinations, forget it. It's never going to happen because Donald wants to force us to be vaccinated. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's already said he'll bring the military in. He said that. So Trump is going to do the worst possible things you could ever imagine. And so would Biden. They're both trying to essentially destroy our country. Listen to this one by Trump about a year and a half ago. Wind up.
A powerful manner. A vaccine. How do you properly distribute it? How do you get it out quickly to millions? Well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up, and the military is going to be doing it in a very powerful manner. These are people that don't usually do vaccines. They do soldiers, and they do lots of other things that, frankly, are more difficult. But we have our general, and logistically, he's all set.
Hey, logistically, he's all set.
Yes, sir. I was here last night. You offered yourself up to be the Democratic nominee. Can you explain that? You say you're a third-party candidate. I am. I was a former Democrat for 30 years. The Democrats have lost their way. I'm more than willing to help you Democrats find your way again. But I'll take an endorsement from the Republican Party, too. I don't care. I want to unite the country. We're not that far off, as long as we're totally clear on not taking down our First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments. If the Democrats were to choose me as their nominee, we would have to abide by no hate speech laws ever. I don't mind endorsing the Matthew Shepard laws that were out already, but no hate speech laws. No gun control at all. We can't do that. We can never bend to a tyrannical government and have our guns taken away. And if the Democrats realize the New World Order is trying to take over the country through Joe Biden or through Donald Trump, they'll realize that and expose it, but they haven't. So I'm kind of your anti-New World Order presidential candidate. You can bill me as the anti-New World Order guy.
I'm glad I didn't sell my Tesla stock when you were telling me to sell it.
Oh, good.
Because
it really did well.
Like 5 times.
Good. Tesla went up 5 times. Yeah, Tesla's still got some great ideas, except Tesla won't talk about the potential dangers of 5G.
The only one I've done better, or that's done, yeah, it's my best performer right now.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm ready to take a break and have a little bite to eat. I'll be back. You're for the best man. I'm for uniting the country. I think we can do it as long as we focus on our Bill of Rights, really. We don't need to go defray even the core message of saving the environment doesn't have to be turned into climate change legislation. We can start innovating and really truly fixing the environment, and every Democrat should realize that. All right, I'm going to take a break. Thank you very much. I'll be right back. All right, that was great. Sarah had a great time talking about virtual servers, talking about PHP and Python and all these high-tech terms that are used. We don't know, but we do know that that's a physical match between those two. All right, so Donald has been sending some portentous statements out, portending the worst. And this was on August 6th, yesterday. He thinks he's under attack for, I don't know who he exposed. I mean, I don't really know exactly who in the deep state he's stopped.
No. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while.
So I think what he's going to do is he's going to try to declare martial law or something before the election. That would be my best guess. He is planning, like I said, to force vaccinate the whole population regardless of whether we have a vaccine or not. So a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a forced vaccine. And definitely a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for a forced vaccine. And a lot of nonsense coming out of his mouth. He's very good at nonsense.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone, make sure. They graduated all their med students early so they could now go in and help in hospitals now.
And this is a man who, when I called Pete when he got out, which surprised me when he said he was going to suspend his campaign, I didn't ask Pete to endorse me, but I called him and told him.
Oh, Pete was working on a endorsement. Yeah, we got so much of this footage. 46 minutes of it we waded through last night. About 10 minutes of it, that's all we could handle before we started getting vomitous. Oprah at it again. We didn't play this last night. Let's play it tonight. You go, girl.
As white people, we even the poorest of the poor, I feel still has, and as white people, we even the poorest of the poor, I feel still has a leg up. And it's
and the leg up is what I was saying. You still have your whiteness. That's what the term white privilege is.
Okay, and Oprah doesn't have any privilege at all, but she's calling white people out as having white privilege. Well, they have a right to talk. I don't mind having the right to talk. That's fine. But what are they saying? Is it racialism, or do black people feel superior to whites? That's kind of strange. And the city of Seattle is abolishing their police department. So we're in a great place here in Washington, 125 miles away from the city of Seattle, thankfully.
Force just days after 59 Seattle cops were hurt in violent riots. Under the council's bill, cops would be replaced with a, quote, community-led safety prevention program. Ari Hoffman once ran for his seat on that council. He joins us now. Ari, what is going on in Seattle?
Good morning. Well, it seems like the experiment of the CHOP, the failure of it wasn't clear to elected officials when they removed cops from that area and had 5 shootings, which resulted in 2 deaths of 2 African-American teenagers. Now they want to expand that to the entire city. At the same time, they have not put forth any plans that address how to keep communities safe that are at risk, like the Jewish community, like the Asian community, that have had incidents of violence before. There was a shooting in Seattle against the Jewish Federation of Greater Seattle, and the SWAT teams had to respond, and they're talking about cutting that back.
Thank you, Ari Hoffman, a good Jewish man trying to step up for the good Jewish people of Seattle. What can I say? What about the woman that died? Woman died on the I-5 because they were having a protest on the interstate highway I-5. Yeah. During the protest, she died, and her friend was seriously injured, or a person standing next to her. This incident happened July 4th, a month ago? And she was hit along with another person. We even heard it when it happened that night. We had a live leak of the video. It's horrible. And they didn't block off the freeway properly, and they allowed some guy to get through. They didn't properly block it off. Does the state of Washington or the city of Seattle take responsibility for her death? Summer Taylor, 24, of Seattle, died. And she was a beautiful person. She really was. She had a beautiful smile. You could tell she really cared about... The protests are very serious for a lot of people. They are trying to stop police brutality. I don't know if many of you realize that not all of the protesters are violent rioters getting money from George Soros. Let's get that clear. That's important to know. She was just a beautiful woman given the go-ahead by the Seattle City Police and the mayor to cross an interstate highway. Well, I'm sorry, but I would have to charge the mayor of Seattle with murder. She didn't have proper authorization to close down an interstate highway. That's a federal highway. There was no clearance from the U.S. DOT. WisDOT didn't get U.S. DOT to okay on this, so they're completely complicit in this. I would say her death is a direct responsibility of the mayor and possibly the governor for allowing such behavior in the city of Seattle and being amply warned about the war zone that was created there, the chop zone. Two hands working can do more than 1,000 clasped in prayer. Yeah, but you can stay warmer. Your hands can stay warmer by staying in prayer if you're suffering from cold weather. And haven't you heard of wringing of the hands? It's very, very effective. Gets a lot of stuff done. Speaking of wringing of the hands, we've got the man with the dangling hands constantly moving his hands around, Bill Gates. And I tweeted about that last week. I said anybody who moves their hands excessively is lying. It's a classic sign. It's a tell of lying. Yeah, Bill Gates is a liar. So yesterday we talked about the wind power solutions for vertical windmills across the country. There's 100 million phone poles, electric lines. I think we could easily build virtual vertical windmills all over the country, things like this. A big possibility in installing these vertical windmills or manufacturing them. So that's a forward-looking idea for production in America. We're not getting that from Joe Biden.
Test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags?
Listen to him laugh. It's like he's got some sort of a hyena laugh, like it's a deep chest laugh. Like he's got emphysema on top of a dementia.
About his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters.
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm...
Speaking of use of hands, look at all the hand movement we're getting out of this guy.
I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I think we'll need to judge your physical fitness. Yeah, did he say filth? His physical and mental filth? I think he did. I think he's thinking filthy, nasty thoughts about women. We did get that image earlier, or something somebody wrote in his family about this. Here it is. From the Daily Mail. Exclusive. He was always holding my hand, putting his arm around me, brushing the hair from my face. Jill Biden admits of Joe. And his very handsy family. Yeah, made her feel strange and uncomfortable when they first began dating in her new memoir. Jill Biden has revealed how her husband, Joe Biden, had been handsy since they first began dating in 1975, she writes in her new book. She details how as an introvert, she found his overly affectionate family draining and initially felt uncomfortable. Wow. Thank God Jill spoke up. Thank you, Jill. So maybe he was fondling her, too, before they got to get, hey, baby, let's get it on. One moment, please. I now take you to the wall that was never built room, where I'd like to build a wonderful container fence, not a wall, like Donald Trump took my idea of a 1,000-mile fence and he converted it to a wall. Oh, we're going to build a very, very nice 1,000-mile wall. I was the first person to mention the 1,000-mile part. Dave, you let him alone. I understand. He's a gentle pervert. I didn't let anyone alone. I'm going to be working over Biden as the couple months. We'll be having Biden days every day, just making fun of him. We don't want a guy who's a marginal at best. Jimmy Carter. Remember Jimmy Carter? I definitely had sexual relations with Playboy magazine. He did lust after a Playboy magazine. But he said that if he ran as a 70-ish guy, let alone 78, Jimmy Carter said he could never have done it. He didn't have the mental acuity to do that. I definitely think that Jimmy Carter could probably have greater intelligence than Joe Biden. And he's not a racist like Joe is. I think Jimmy Carter actually could run the country better than Joe Biden right now in Joe Biden's condition. Have you seen Jimmy Carter speak? I mean, he's very eloquent. Plain Georgia, peanut farmer, Rosalind and I are doing very well. I don't know. It's weird. A Virgin Nerd says, why are the Democrats always the biggest pervs and racists? Bill Clinton, etc. I know. Well, you haven't seen our new video about Donald Trump. They allege that he's a pedophile. Yeah. In the video tonight. Is he or is he not? I don't know. We'll talk about that. There are people that are out there, names that have been named. The names have been named. Here's a slight sample of what we're talking about. Rebecca Conway, age 13 years old. According to this video, it says that Donald Trump had intercourse and oral sex with her. Trump Vineyard Estates, Charlottesville, Virginia, 2012. This is a very weird video we're going to play you. It claims that Donald Trump is the real reason why he won't release his taxes is he doesn't want anyone to know he's been paying people off for all these allegations of rape. Isn't that weird? Very interesting perspective because Donald Trump is fighting fiercely to not release his tax returns to anyone. Oh, yeah. It's pretty sad. When he said to the American people, hey, Rodney, how are you? He said to the American people, oh, I'll gladly show you 10 years of my tax returns, no problem. That's a direct quote from Donald Trump, 2015. I'll gladly show you all my tax returns for 10 years, no problem. And he's fighting tooth and nail at every level to stop any release of his tax returns. So we are wondering what the real reason. But then you got Joe Biden and this allegation that he may have an underwater submarine location right outside of Epstein's Orgy Island. Well, they did some research. They found out Joe Biden doesn't own any property in the Virgin Islands. Only in the older, more, when you look into the registry, you find that Joe Biden's family members have property there. You're on a boat. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I decided to unban your main account, Rodney, because we had a lot of people ask for your presence here. And we know that you have a huge ego and deserve to be respected among your peers of other trolls. So being our show comprises a lot of trolls, you're here. Well, that's the thing, Virgin Nerds. I don't see much proof here other than all the names that you can research. Let me give you this Brighteon video yourself. And you see allegations of Trump. I'll just say allegations of Trump. You look at it yourself and look up all the names and see if there's any record of them at all, of any complaints, because at this point it's just hearsay. But 7 boy and girls, 12 years, 13 years old, suits against Trump on rape. I find it preposterous. Well, let's be clear. I mean, a man with such intelligence as to call himself, I'm a very stable genius, and then to tell the American people, I took the greatest economy in the world and I shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. With that level of intelligence, how could he not have a history of being manipulated by bad press? I don't know. You're going to have to decide for yourself. Read the video. Watch it. Now, Rodney, you know that Trump isn't supposed to be endorsed here. That's one of our primary rules. That's why you were banned last time. the economy was in a bubble. Oh, and now it's doing better? Really? It's a good thing. It's a good thing that Donald shut the economy down, Dave. It's a good thing. Well, Biden thinks the same thing. Biden thinks it should have been shut down sooner. That's how completely demented he is. And I assume that anyone who thinks we should shut the economy down for no reason is also demented. Really? Bill Gates has cloned babies? I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, when you see all the things he's got his fingers in, there's got to be a reason. Why is he studying genetically modified mosquitoes? Oh, that's right. They can carry COVID-19, whereas right now you're just worried about breathing it. Have a hot day in New York and you're going to get a mosquito bite. You know what I'm talking about? Especially if you're upstate. What about you in Florida? You're going to get 10 mosquito bites, and they could be GMO COVID-19 carriers. Yeah. You could be sitting there enjoying the beautiful sunshine of the Atlantic Ocean, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 hit with ejectors from Bill Gates' COVID-19 mosquito GMO, you know? Malaria, the new COVID. No, there's no reason why they can't weaponize mosquitoes. I mean, come on, are you kidding? We got real bad people who created a bioweapon, and a lot of you people are in deep denial. All right, let me grab this from this. Let me just copy this. Copy that. Copy that, good buddy. I'd like to build a container fence. We won't have one built at all, a fence of any kind. And Trump's slat fence that allows people to slip kilos through the slats, that's designed to help the drug lords. He's never going to get a fence built. And you Trump supporters are wondering, gee, well, maybe he will in another 4 years. No. He could have done it in 4 years. He could have done it in 1 year. He didn't, though. I could have built this container wall in 1 year, but he's taken 3.5 years to build 133 miles of slats that blow down in the wind. Blowing in the wind. So, the New World Order's plan is to not have a fence and to have an open border. So all of you white, overly privileged people can bend over, grease up, and take the entire third world up your ass. Courtesy of Donald Trump. Congratulations. Yeah, because he didn't build a fence, like it's my idea and he had 3.5 years to do it, you now get screwed. Hot visual. So, deal with it. Deal with the fact that you picked the wrong guy for president in 2016. Why don't you just admit it? Are you coming here to apologize? Please tell me you are. And you're ashamed to have voted for Donald Trump right now because he hasn't built the fence? Admit it. And he shut down the greatest economy in the world. Of course. Why wouldn't he? He's getting paid heavily by the Russian oligarchs to shut down the greatest economy in the world. They don't want our economy to do well. Did it ever occur to you that the Russians really don't want us to do well? That's why he just took 12,000 troops and removed them from NATO. Yeah, that's exactly what Vladimir Putin would want. There you go. This is your time to shine. You can put any of your stickers in the emote. Boom. Fire away. Trump did perfect. Republicans will never come back from this. Ha! Neither will the Democrats with a guy like Biden running. Honestly, I don't think Biden's going to make it to the debates because there won't be debates. Biden will not win this without a debate. Many of the flip states like Virginia and New York are polling toward Trump now. They're saying, why not just choose Trump or even Robert Redford? Then Joe Biden, my God, he's so desperate to become president, it's sickening. He reeks of it. It's like, come on, man. I just want to do what my son Bo told me to do. Be on his dying, his words, his fine. That's all, folks. That's Joe Biden. His son Bo told him he should be president. Now he's doing it. Are we here as a nation perched on the edge of a collapse to try to give Joe a kind of an up day so he can win? He doesn't have the mental acuity to resolve the problems we're facing right now. I do. Neither does Donald Trump. I have the brains to fix this problem in America, and we can start rolling out jobs again. But you can't do it with a guy who's literally masturbating behind the scenes in the Oval Office. There's got to be something going on back there. What does Donald do with his time? I mean, we don't know what's going on in the Oval Office. We really don't. And they're off and running. Dueling emojis. It's happening, folks. It's happening. Check out my link, Dave. You would be an authority on wanting to be president. Not really. I actually am beginning to wonder if it's the wisest move in my life to want to be president. Because of the way the economy is just literally falling apart under Donald Trump and under what Joe Biden would be doing. Joe Biden endorsed the shutdown of our economy. What is wrong with you Democrats? You're thinking like a block of sheep going over a cliff. What's wrong with you people? You're going all over to the left like cater. Oh, you have white guilt about being white. My God, what did you do to deserve that? Pull your white guilt out of your ass and face up to the fact that you have every right to be here just like any black man or any Hispanic person or any Asian person. Stop acting like a white wuss. Step up and be yourself. Stop being apologetic to everybody. It's sickening. You have a guy flash a dummy sitting next to a curb, which took an hour to prep that photo shoot, by the way. It took an hour to get the dummy out of the car and placed down there on the ground. We don't know if that's the same picture as what happened with George Floyd. We don't know if that image wasn't a dummy. It happened to look like a dummy. In fact, I've taken the picture and I've worked it around in different directions, and you know, it sure looks like it could be possibly, I don't know. Let's see if I can get it to match up. It's a very close match. You see that? Now, why would a group of people in the government want to create a dummy, make it look like it's been choking when the actual death certificate said that George Floyd died of fentanyl overdose? How can you assume that the neck injury was caused by Officer Chauvin? How can you afford to make that decision? Don't adjust your dial. You're traveling through another time and dimension, a dimension of fakery, of false flaggery, of an intense desire for the government to make you think things are worse than they actually are. Welcome to the Toilet Zone. I'm your host, David Sponheim. Donald Trump interviews Donald Trump. This should be fun.
Numerous categories were lower than the world. Let me explain. Well, the testing. Right here, take a look. You can test too much. You do know that. What it says is when you have somebody that has it, where there's a case, it will last. No, but you're not reporting it correctly. We have cases. This is our testing, I believe. This is the testing, yeah. Yep. Check it out. New cases, new cases, new cases. The top one, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. We test more. We have. Now take a look. Death is way down from where it was. Take a look at this. These are the tests.
You know, I really don't think this dialogue is very fruitful. For one, Donald Trump has never said that the tests are in fact 81% inaccurate. That would be a good starting point, don't you think, in talking about COVID testing? All he says is, oh, we've got 3 million tests, Mike. We've got 3 million tests. We can deliver 3 million tests a day. That's not the answer. I'll play this later. But I mean, seriously, this is a non-issue. The numbers of people dying of COVID are just not that many. We're talking about less than H1N1, significantly less. Like the common cold that causes grandma and grandpa to have pneumonia. Capiche? Docs reveal Trump's administration is using contact tracing to survey Americans. U.S. secret scores for Americans. Wow. That's intense, man. And then...
Hi, everyone. It is August 7, 2020.
Oh, Never Lose Truth is going to talk about that. Okay. An aged care home. Let's count the staff.
August the 7th figures.
They're looking at all the different people dying of COVID and the number of people being put in nursing homes unnecessarily. Okay, we got a couple links there from Scissor Fight. Thank you. I'll add them to link. I wouldn't doubt Donald will fire himself soon and say, I'm going back to my hometown in Mar-a-Lago, where I'll be spending my nights with Jeffrey Epstein cuddling. You know, Jeffrey Epstein is probably alive. You probably know that. And our government's going to completely try to cover that up. Unless you want a real inquiry into Jeffrey Epstein, you're not going to get it from Donald Trump or from Joe Biden. They're completely tied into that world, that dark world of underworld torture of children, allegedly. Yeah, don't even go there. Imagine if you had two people with the same mind. It would turn into an infinite loop, like what we see in the video with Trump. I suppose, but that's assuming you have a mind. Trump doesn't really have a mind. He's borrowing other people and other people's ideas.
Leveled out, but you have to look at this. This is, excuse me.
That's one of the reasons why he didn't defend that drug that got banned from the FDA. If Trump was going to stop that drug from being banned by the FDA, he would have fired the director of the FDA. Wouldn't he have? Am I the only person with a brain cell here?
Where it was is much higher than where it is right now. But you don't know that. That's my report as of yesterday.
Donald has a report. Donald has a vocabulary. It's a big, incredibly big, amazing, awesome vocabulary that's bigger than most. It's big. It's like 100 words. At least 100 words in his vocabulary. Big, very big. Glow 949 says, I agree. Shutting down the economy is super dumb. Thank you, Glow. We finally got some corroboration from intelligent people out there. Thank you, man. Thank you. He's untouchable. I don't know. I don't think Trump will be able to face the music once I become president. We're going to be rolling him over the coals to find out if he has any tax liabilities or possibly paybacks for women that or young people that he may have been, allegedly charged with rape. Yeah. We're going to look at a video in a few minutes at 10 that talks about that. We'll kick off the show with that. The real reason Trump won't release his taxes, all kinds of strange allegations in this video. Biden has chosen his VP as Susan Rice offloads Netflix stock. I don't think Susan Rice is the one. I think it's Kamala Harris. I stand pretty firm on that footing. I'd be surprised. Susan Rice has that liability, $24 million in stock she bought from Iran right before the Iranian treaty. That's not going to bode very well once the press gets word of that. I tracked finances of famous people, and one of those things is Susan Rice made a $24 million purchase along with John Kerry in Iranian stock. I can't believe it. And nobody grilled her on that. Anyway, we're going to roll them over the coals, so to speak. Well, let's be clear. Barack Obama is probably not going to be found in Sturgis this week. Everybody's hanging out, having a party. At least 100,000 people are expected for Sturgis rally in the state's Black Hills. And as far as COVID spacing, it's like, yeah, she's going to use a condom this time. We're COVID spacing big time. All right. And then breathtaking footage of what appears to be Photoshop of the attack. We have footage of somebody photoshopped a missile strike on this using reverse color photography, claiming that showed the missile landing on this. Let's take a look. Okay, you're going to see in just a second something appear in the sky above it. Right about, somebody drew a pencil mark in there. Here it comes. It's coming. See right there. Didn't that look fake? No, I think it looks fake. Right there. Yeah, you can see it's like a white line somebody drew in there. Yeah, I don't know. It just looks really fake. Space rod. Go to the end. Okay. I'll let it roll. Sure, why not? It looks to me like a blast of hydrogen blew up there. Now, it does, an interesting side note, with ammonium nitrate explosions, with 2,750 tons. Yeah, that's like 5,300, 5,500 pounds. Excuse me, 2,000 pounds per ton, exactly. 55,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate. We are looking at this is people photographing something, taking pictures, or what? Okay, they go down, they stabilize camera, looking at crane. This is from another angle or something? Okay, I'm watching it to the end here. The second one looks even more fake. Oh, okay. Thank you. Ammonium nitrate produces an initial blast of black smoke and then turns to gray smoke, but it can produce a tremendous amount of water, which is completely broken into hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen being a potential blast. It looked like a mini H-bomb to me. Of course, I'm not an expert. I only grew up in the nuclear age and was born of the nuclear age. I am the nuclear person. Dave, do you leave your Christmas decorations up all year long? No, I do not. I don't celebrate Christmas except in July. He is an expert on fake videos. He is. I truly believe he is. Oh my gosh, I missed it. Did you see some sort of a spark out there? I'm not seeing the missile here. I'm waiting. Does it matter? They're dead anyway. It's over. I mean, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That really. Oh, that was so fake. So fake. There it is. You could tell they practically drew it into the frames. Boom. Oh, yeah. Hey, dude, let's get like our stylus and draw like a lightning ray. That's not even a missile. That's somebody's pencil. So we have to assume that that's fake too. Let's go back to the original theory. It's just an explosion at a fireworks plant. It's better for all of us to do that. Otherwise, we're headed toward nuclear war. I prefer organic coffee from Uganda. I prefer a specific type of bean that the Ugandans brew naturally without herbicides or pesticides. We don't have any gay people that are offended by anything here, Screw Loose. You're the only homophobe that could be offended by that stuff. Yeah, we don't mind playing people's views, alternative views. I'm not like the Democrats. I don't want to turn you all into gays. But I'm not here to discriminate against gay people. Los Angeles mayor goes full totalitarian and tries to nullify the right to assemble. Are you serious? Let's watch this right now.
All right, everyone. The crazy mayor of Los Angeles has decided to go pure authoritarian for really no...
We have a standing order. We can't play this guy anymore. Yeah. As much as I want to play him, is this the guy that you didn't want to hear tonight? Some of you complained about him. Yes, he has the mark of Satan in his name. And he is a YouTube star. His name is Styx Hexenhammer 6. I don't know if I can play it. Well, it just bothers me that he's making all this money, like $100,000 a year on YouTube, and I can't even get one single subscriber. Ever since 2009, my subscriber lock has been locked in place. But putting his name out there like 666, what's that all about? I mean, is he the kind of guy that gets a car with 666 in the license plate and says, yeah, that's cool, man, I'm going to leave that. Well, I'll put it in the lineup, but it's going to piss a lot of people off late night. I don't mind doing it, but if we run out of things to watch, my goodness, thank you. We got Suspicious Minds live in Las Vegas coming up. Elvis Presley. Well, thank you very much. Elvis Presley. Frank Zappa is going to talk how he predicted the coronavirus back in the day.
Yours is called Thingfish, which is about, as I understand it, sexually transmitted disease.
And then he talked about how you can get another disease too. Appreciate that.
Julia, where have you been? It's been 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I've been in a deep, deep depression because it took me 3 weeks to finally get through the Michelle Obama documentary, Becoming.
So it took her 3 weeks. This young girl was traumatized by seeing the Michelle Obama documentary. We'll get her story tonight, and how this whole experience is caused her to be, it's like PTSD. I mean, post-transgender stress disorder, you know? And then, of course, nonstop Joe Biden babbling.
Responders and docs and nurses need.
We have to invest more money in dealing with pandemic research, dealing with viruses, dealing with studies relating to what these viruses are like.
He really knows a lot. Yeah. Not. And I don't know if I can stomach 11 minutes of Oprah telling people they should have white guilt and that blacks like her suffer from having that stigma. I mean, really, I don't think I can handle that. From a woman who is now worth $2 billion and just closed her magazine. It's keeping the online version open. I'll leave it in the lineup, but I don't think I can handle it. A man in his underwear and a ski mask assaults a 72-year-old Walmart employee here.
To go hold his hostage in Walmart? Look, he's sitting on the couch. You're caught. That's good. That's good of them, Daddy. Who's doing them? Can't believe you do. Man, look at one of them daddies. Oh my God.
Oh my God is the word. And now Walmart might be holding prayer sessions now for some of the people that got assaulted by this guy in his underwear wearing a ski mask. You know, this is bringing out the best in people, don't you think? Right. And this happened. I'll bring this up again. Antifa thug in Portland, Oregon assaults an elderly lady trying to defend a police station. This is tragic. Look at how he walks up and he's like wrapping ribbon around her head. Look at these mindless Democrat libtards who think that everyone's supposed to wear a mask. You know, the mask is really not going to prevent a virus from traveling into your mouth necessarily. I mean, you might as well wear a space helmet with tinfoil. It would make no difference. I saw a guy come into Costco the other day wearing his motorcycle helmet. And I just had to laugh. It's like, dude, that's not a mask. That's your motorcycle helmet. But I didn't say anything. I was going to be a Ken or a Karen or worse. An Ocasio-Cortez. All she's doing is trying to defend the police station. My God. Okay. Well, let's not forget that some people are boycotting Target and Walmart because they keep pushing this image of pizza. Everywhere you go, you see this in pizza we trust, or whatever the hell this reads. Pizza me. This is all related to the Pizzagate stories that were so prevalent about a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years ago, that were pushed off the internet because no one was allowed to talk about Pizzagate. But Walmart and Target can promote pizza, which is a known code word for, I guess, pedophilia. Very strange stuff. So a lot of people are boycotting these places if they have these pizza t-shirts, which, you know, it's upsetting a lot of people. And I can't play this for you because it's 23 minutes of physical torture in a prison where a guy dies. There's another case of the same type of torture here. I already played that. Somebody requests, could you please play this one of torture where the guy dies? And I said, no, unless I run out of things to play. I won't play that. And this is funny.
Offended you can get. There is a pandemic of pedophilia in this country. A vile group of people are trying to make pedophilia a sexual orientation and believe it is 100% okay to be age fluid. Don't know what that means? Let me give you a scenario. A 50-year-old man can identify as an 8-year-old girl. He's also feeling gender fluid that particular day. Be attracted to an 8-year-old boy, and these sickos think it's natural and should be legal for him to act on those feelings. Do you know what this group is? It's a real pedophilia organization that's trying to make pedophilia normalized and believe the age of consent should be lowered to 4 years old. Where do we draw the line on this identity crap? Our children are under attack. They are being sold and traded into a sick and vile community, and this is one thing I strongly believe everyone needs to get woke on.
Thank you. Living life like Alice. Awesome. I like that. You know, she really spelled it out because we aren't hearing enough about these secret pedophile networks like Wayfair allegations. We don't hear a lot about that. Nothing in the mainstream media about the Wayfair company having weird pictures of shelving unit that was $17,000 when people would normally see that for $500. I mean, and then Wayfair said that it was perfectly legit. The shelving was special industrial type and it was more expensive. They use that as an excuse. It's like, oh, okay, and we're supposed to believe all that? So women, young ladies like that are really stepping up, and I really appreciate that they're doing that. Now, you may encounter some pretty tough times in the coming months because of the shutdown of our economy by the stupidest president we've ever had, and the endorsement by Joe Biden that we should shut the economy down, the second most stupid person running for office right now. So what I'm going to teach you is how to defend yourself against an armed attack. And there's a guy here, an off-duty instructor in this video that's going to give you some tips to take down an assailant. Now, do not try to do this in your own personal life. It is dangerous. Unless you plan on, you know, if you have no other option. Okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go.
Se você pegar aqui, ela vai disparar na sua cara. Mas presta atenção aqui, ó. Não tem tempo.
Okay, so he took the gun and reversed it. Yeah, it probably takes practice to do this, but you can see it in slow-mo here. You need to have situational awareness wherever you go. Okay. Okay, let's close in on that hand movement of his. Okay, he's got other tips for you. There you go. See how he did that reverse? Yeah. See how he pulled the hand up again right off of his. So there's another move. Boom. Back and then over and then dim, right under his, and he can break his elbow that way. He spins it over his head. Corkscrew. Yeah, we're going to play more of this later tonight for you to get a little bit more knowledge about how you can deal with an assailant. So if you're standing next to your car and you look around and you see 15 people gathering around you all at once, they're descending on you, get back in the car, lock the door, and get the hell out of there. Yeah, it could be a flash mob. Always look around your car, especially if you have family members with you. Always be aware. You may be the one to save your life and their life. I wish I could give you tips that, gee, the cops are there for you. But in Minneapolis, they're telling people, no, be prepared to give them everything you own and also be prepared to be raped. This is the liberal government that's stewing in America, allowing our country to fragment right under our nose so that somehow Donald won't get elected. Literally, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that we don't have any semblance of normality in America when the danger zone hits. Danger, danger. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Will, don't leave me here. That is not safe, Mr. Robinson. Will. Well, I think we've covered a lot of territory tonight. I'm glad we were able to do this. Freedom Friday is about really getting back to this. I told Sarah that I'm really here for her. I'm really trying to stay in the area for her because she has a great job and I want her to be happy because I love her. And I would not be living in Washington State if I were just on my own, free as a bird. Without having a person in your life, you probably are free as a bird. But I can tell you that I'm not happy living in a state that's so socialist as the one I'm living in, that wants to take away my freedoms. It really upsets me. It upsets me that the whole West Coast is like this. They want to stamp on everybody's freedom. They want to tread on their individual freedoms. They want to deny you your right to not wear a mask, even if you have a disability. I mean, this is nuts. It's the worst mindlessness, groupthink I've ever seen in my life here in Washington. I'm sure it's true in other liberal states like New York as well. But seriously, the whole USA is kind of turning upside down. I would have moved to another state that would have been a little bit freer, like South Dakota. My family grew up in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota. And my father came from that area. I probably would go back there. There are a lot of Sponheims back there, believe it or not. In fact, I know of one place that would love to have some support out there. There's a club that's sitting there with no patriarch, probably ready to lead that whole organization, that was built by one of my relatives back, 60 years ago. Yeah, there's a club out in Montana that was built by one of my relatives. And it's really one of the coolest nightclubs in the Midwest. It's got an underwater, it's got like mermaids in an aquarium. The center of the bar is like an aquarium. You've probably seen it online. It's amazing. And I've got a distant relative, I've never even met this woman, who runs this bar, and she's a survivor of that. She owns the bar. But my uncle, once removed, actually owned the bar and was infamous in the area of Montana. His name was Donald Sponheim. And people to this day from that area know who he is, even though he's been dead, 20 years now. But he left a bar, and the history lives on. I mean, they've got an amazing thing. They've got mermaids in the middle of the Midwest. It's funny. But I'd probably hang out there or something. Dakota, yeah. The Dakotas. I would love to see America get back on track. I just want to see things get back to normal. I really do. I don't see any reason why we can't do the right thing and get our country back. We just have to figure out who you want as president. I'm still in the running. I'm an official write-in candidate, David Sponheim. But Scissorfight played something for me recently that really affected me. I want to show it to you. He did some research on an organization that's doing background, what they call themselves game changers. And these people, it's a group called Ipsos Mori. Watch this. Yeah, they call themselves game changers, and they called COVID the year of the boiling frog. There's a reference to the boiling frog. They say if they just turn the temperature up on the stove slowly, it'll kill off the the frog. It's true. It's very true. That's what happens. When he went to look for it in Latin, ipsos mori means they die. That's a pretty heavy thing to read. They die. So why would a website have a whole plan for COVID, and that why would they call themselves Ipsos Mori? Why would it even exist? They call themselves game changers. Public opinion on the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Discover Ipsos Mori research highlights. Just really weird stuff. 2020, the year of the boiled frog. This is pretty heavy references. Perceptions of lockdown timings, too fast, too slow, or about right. Sexual orientation and attitudes to LGBTQ+ in Britain. You know what LGBTQ+ means, right? They're adding pedophilia. Ipsos Mori's response to the coronavirus pandemic. And then it translates to they die in Latin. I mean, this is just too weird. Thank you for finding this out, Scissorfight. You really scored a big one there. That was amazing. Yeah. Very portentous of the future in a very negative direction. Used a rental car to drive the USA. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you can save a lot on wear and tear by using a rental car. And you're more likely going to drive the USA with safety because you've got a brand new car practically. It's a pretty smart move. You got a pretty smart guy. And as usual, we've got pretty much empty hospitals across the country. One guy went into one hospital, he just couldn't believe it. He's like, wait a second, you're kidding, right? Oh, that's right. It's not refreshing yet. Okay, needless to say, they're empty. Yeah. It won't operate when I've got a VPN going.
The plot.
Okay, and then we'll do one more visit on Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Joe Biden potential island off the coast with the submarine access. We know Ghislaine Maxwell has a submarine license, but we don't know exactly what she was doing underwater. We do know that there's 2 islands in that area, Little St. James Island, which Jeffrey Epstein's brother Mark now owns, and Water Island right nearby, where Joe Biden doesn't own a piece of property there, just 2 of his relatives do. We're wondering if there's a submarine base connecting the 2, and this is a video we'll play as well. This is a 3rd time we'll play it. It's pretty interesting. The theory that Biden could be involved is very, very possible. He used to travel to the Virgin Islands. We know for a fact he spent a lot of time during the time he's VP there. We have a lot of anecdotal evidence about this in the video. I know, Final Dream was remote viewing the underwater bases before anybody said anything about it. You're right. You're the first to really talk about it, Final Dream. They're across the desert, really? Are they under the Zorro Ranch, where Epstein had a secret place in New Mexico, too? All right, well, this has been a marathon day, as usual. We come at you with the constancy of a regularity that you normally wouldn't get anywhere else. We've got a lot of admissions by the government that the COVID stats have been inflated. The CDC director himself, Robert Redfield, has said that the number of COVID-19 deaths could be inflated where someone who had the virus actually died from something else, but it was recorded as COVID death. So finally, the chinks in the armor are coming up. We're seeing kind of a different perspective, which is good. And wow, stories about adrenochrome. We've got weird stories about adrenochrome here. I can't really entertain that tonight. I'll talk about it another night, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, yowza. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to check out for now. Not much news. No one's taking blame for this Beirut explosion. Trump is seemingly melting down, acts like they're going to go get him. They're going to be after him, and now he's like he's not going to be seen for very much longer. Very weird stuff coming from Trump. Are we going to see some sort of a major catastrophe in the next couple days? I don't know. I really don't. I wish I could give you the answers, folks. But until I'm president of the United States, I won't be able to help any of you do anything other than try not to cower in fear and enjoy your life. Okay? Thank you. The intel community is saying Iran seeking to undermine Trump. Russia is working to denigrate Biden in the election. So Russia's still working for Trump, and yet the intel community says Iran wants to stop Trump. Very interesting. And Trump has banned TikTok and WeChat. And I tend to think that he's doing that just to make a deal with Microsoft's Bill Gates so he can make a lot of money. See, Trump protects Gates and he protects Soros, which is a very weird thing for a man to be in his position doing that. It could potentially turn our country into a disaster zone with Gates and Soros working separately but simultaneously for the New World Order. Could happen. And some chinks in the Dr. Anthony Fauci's opinion about the COVID-19. I'll repeat it again. He says the chance of the coronavirus vaccine being highly effective is not great. Now, he was asked recently why the recent Moderna study was showing everybody got bad side effects. He underplayed it. He acted like it was no big deal, but now he's finally coming out and saying it's not a very good chance of a vaccine being created. Is this a chink in their big plan? We don't know. Is this kind of a chink in their armor? We don't know. But the triumvirate of Gates, Fauci, and Trump seem to be working very strong to push their agenda, and we haven't been able to see any breaks in that. Anon is really completely lost in thinking that Donald Trump is stopping the deep state. Donald Trump is doing everything he can to support the deep state and will ultimately force vaccinate the American people for no reason. And you people better start realizing that Donald is not going to go after the deep state. He isn't going to expose Hillary Clinton. He isn't going to go after Barack Obama's birth certificate like I was. He's essentially a person who borrowed my ideas to get elected with all the money and backing of the mob. and took a position that I would have had as your president in 2016. And you people fell for the CIA's ploy to pretend like some secret guy named Q was giving you all kinds of information. But you, Anoners, have been very vigilant in finding out more information about Pedogate, and that much I appreciate. I really do. And if we could expose the inconsistencies in the FBI's approach to this whole thing, that'd be good too, because we know that the FBI is working against the American people for some secret organization. We know that because the FBI is willfully stopping investigations into missing children. You're right. If Trump was on our side, he would not have supported Soros or Gates. So true. Thank you, Sunchild. And thanks for coming back to our show. You got a full place here for all of your words to be read. The reality is, if Donald Trump hasn't said a word about QAnon getting knocked off of Twitter last week, he never mentioned it. 15,000 people have their accounts shut down. He's not covering you. He's not in any way giving you any support. You've been onto something. I don't think for a second that the Pedogate thing should be ignored. It's very important. But Donald Trump has not mentioned the word Wayfair once the past week. He's never mentioning anything to stop the deep state, but you people think he is stopping it. You're so lost, it's unbelievable. Donald Trump is just like Joe Biden, owned by AIPAC and the Russian oligarchs. Face it, we are in danger. And remember, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, nobody's talking about the danger of 5G except me and others on the internet. Yeah. Now, a lot of good work is going on. I really like the work of Amazing Polly, but I know she totally supports Trump, and I just don't get it. With all the inquisition going on, look into the real story here. Why is Donald Trump suppressing information about his tax returns? What is he hiding? Big questions. All of us asking big questions. So we're going to go right into that. The real reason Trump won't release his taxes right now. It's a 3-minute video that alleges that Donald Trump may very well be a pedophile. Get ready for the possible truth. We don't know. We're alleging this, or he is, this person. All right. Meanwhile, bombs have gone on in various cities over the past couple days. Not many people mentioned all these bombs. All this happened in the last 24 hours. If you weren't paying attention, that was 2 days ago. Weird things. Some people believe that bombs were occurring in areas that were doing biological research. We don't know. But a lot of these bombs look very suspicious. What it all means, we don't know. Was there a targeted hit on Beirut by any other country? We have no one taking responsibility for that. All right, so we will get back to you tomorrow with our Sustainable Saturday. You're spending weekend at Biden's? No, we're not. We'll be laughing at Biden the whole weekend. They're just propping him up. He's afraid to talk. He doesn't want to do any type of a cognition exam. He doesn't want to determine if he's able to talk. He's accusing black interviewers of being a junkie. I mean, the guy's all over the place. How could he be our president? What are we thinking? It's crazy. Okay, on that note, I'll sign off. Take care, everybody. I'll be back again 5 o'clock tomorrow. Take care. America is ready for a change. A third party is the change we need. Accountability in government, term limits for Congress, media verification, and a fresh approach to fixing our environment. We need a new direction for our nation. Join us in the middle of the political spectrum for our nightly commentary and discussion at America's Third Party.